Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. I am Kalua and I'm imperfectly amazing. And if you are joining me here in real time, it is Monday, January 3rd. So we are coming out of that holiday haze. At least I hope we are. If you're not, I do have a tea for that. So come back and see me on Wednesday for Clarity with Kalua when I tell you more about our tea for the month. So, yes, here we are. New beginnings. We've got a new moon. We've got a new year. And I hope you took advantage of all of that time during Yule to release. I know I did. And I had some really, really profound spiritual experiences from that. So it was amazing. So I really hope you took advantage of that so that you can get your new year onto a fantastic start. But don't worry, because that's not the only time for a new beginning. Okay. Not at all. So, yes. All right. So I am here today to talk about the body. And this is a little bit of a soapbox issue for me. So I'll try to keep it concise. All right. So, if you follow the chakra system, right? And if you don't, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that next week to give you a little more info on that. But if you do, it's like at the bottom of the chakra is that the root and the foundation, and at the top is that like spiritual connection, right? So the bottom is your body. It's your physical being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. This is the vessel you're in. Okay. So the body is what is holding your being. And I'm really big on the fact that the body needs to be honored, right? You can't build on a shaky foundation, and that's your foundation. Um, we have this long history of suppressing, ignoring, not listening to the cues that your body gives you. And I mean, I gotta tell you, oh, it was really challenging for me working in human services, and for a great amount of time I was working in I was a vocational evaluator. The Department of Voc Rehab would refer people to me to do evaluations to see if they could work, if they could, what accommodations they needed, right? So people with disabilities, and it could be physical, mental health, emotional, you name it. Well, one of the things that I really noticed is that people would come to me because their bodies had completely went kaput, and they could no longer do whatever it was that they were trained in. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of times they didn't qualify for further education based on their current education level. So they were really stuck. The thing is, for so many of them, and like for so many of them, like I'd see it, people pushing for retirement, push, push, push. Let's make it to retirement, and then I'll worry about my body. But then, like a few years short of retirement, it would totally give out. And I mean, like just simple things like, one guy's a painter. So he did this all day, right? And then he developed bursitis so bad in his shoulder that he couldn't lift his arm further than this. And the thing with that is, yes, that is your job, right? And so, yes, that's a hazard, but there are other things you can do to offset that, to honor the body. Maybe every day, getting into some shoulder rolls, some stretches, doing some things to counteract the up down that you were doing all day, in order to honor that body again, right? To basically undo the damage that you were regularly doing. And so listening to it. Um, and for me, right, I worked, gosh, 10 years, about over 10, 15 years teaching dance, and I loved it. Like, so for me, that was my first big hurdle over defying expectations. I loved dance when I was a kid, and I remember thinking I would love to teach dance. And I remember being told, no, you're not going to do that. That's a hobby. You're going to go get a real job. And I dutifully did what I was supposed to do and got the real job, which, I liked. I found something that I liked, but I loved dance. And so, the universe brought this opportunity back around again for me, and I jumped. And so I loved it. But you're talking about, like, I'd say 10 of the 15 years I was doing like 15 classes a week of dance and or dance fitness classes. So that was a lot of work on my body. But one of the things that I prioritized was self-care movement, doing like the counteractive stretches, maybe just the loose, just moving around in my body to allow it to heal, to allow it to, be free, to get the movement that it needed to counteract the movement that was happening all of the time. Like I said, we have this tendency, if it hurts, take a pill. If if you feel pain, tough it out. You can do it. Keep going. Push, push, push. Right? That's the masculine. Hey, good morning, Dodd. So happy to see you. Happy New Year. So, yes, I'm talking about honoring the body as that foundation of our existence, right? The root is the body, the spiritual is way up here, and so we need to build on a strong foundation. And so so what I want to do, I'm like figuring how I want to do this. So I'm just probably just going to piss people off with this one. So one of the things I want to say is that honoring the body is not about working out, push, 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 injure, hurt, push it to the limit, no pain, no gain. That's great for getting in shape. And if that's your method, I got to be honest, it's not mine. I'm very much about, like, this is where I really thrive in the feminine is when it comes to movement, because I really love honoring my body. I love the pleasure. I love moving in my body because it feels good. Right. So that's my perspective, but I understand I'm not the only one. And I understand that there is that very large group of people who love, the CrossFit and the stuff that is push, 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 go, 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 take no prisoner kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, if that is what you're doing, then counterbalance it with the stuff, the stretches, with the stuff that your body needs in order to create that masculine feminine balance within it, right? Just like everything else we do, we want to do that with our body as well. So this is kind of going to be my theme over the next couple weeks. And, if you're in the Crave Club, this is something that I provide. I have a series of videos that are movement videos about moving through the different energy centers of your body. And it's not just for, the physical and improve it. It's actually about that connection to your body so that you can connect to yourself, because this is a really big thing for me. I feel like, and I've said this in other things before, if you're in a relationship with somebody and every time they tell you something, you're like, yeah, shh, take a pill, and you ignore them, the relationship is not going to be strong, right? It's not going to be a good, solid relationship. You're going to have problems. So that's where we have these problems with our bodies. And, we're seeing more and more, the bodies are fighting back all these autoimmune issues. We have so many pains and all of this stuff happening because we're not listening. But I think the next level of it as well is not just the physical, but also that emotional and spiritual. If we're ignoring the body and we're disconnected from ourselves, from our own physical being, we cannot be connected to our own intuition. It's much more difficult to be connected, to find that divine connection, right? And I think that is why we find ourselves going outside of ourselves for that guidance. We're going to our friends and what do you think I should do? Or, we're going to others to try to help us because we're not getting that feeling. Well, let me rephrase that. We are getting that feeling. We just can't identify it. We're not confident. We're not sure that that's what it means because we've been ignoring our body for so long. We've been telling it that it can't trust us. And so now we have this distrust. Okay, so let's see. Dot is saying, love this topic of honoring the body and being intentional movement that does not damage or hurt. Yeah. And, this is a big thing too, because the more loving you are, the more it sustains you. Okay. So you're not just going to have that benefit of, the deeper physical connection, the deeper spiritual connection, the deeper emotional connection, but you're also going to have a body that loves you for the long run. You know, I just like, yeah, sometimes we have aches and pains because of old injuries, right? Like something happened, and now maybe when it rains, there's a little arthritis in that spot or what have you. But do you want to intentionally do that to yourself? Do you want to create tears and different injuries? And I've seen that a lot due to pushing the body. And I've got to tell you, so as I mentioned earlier, good 10 years of teaching about 15 plus classes a week. I did balance it with some of the other stuff that my body needed, but at the same time, as that sort of, that season kind of wrapped up, my body was like, time for rest. And it didn't give me any problems. It wasn't a major issue. Some things like muscle tightness and stuff like that. And my body was like, it's time to rest. And, because I had been doing the other stuff, I felt that connection. I felt that intuition. And I said, all right, I'm going to rest. And I really had to deal with ego as I did that because now, I was used to my body looking a certain way and it kind of doesn't anymore. And I'm not complaining. I'm so super grateful because I know I'm in fantastic shape. I can do things with the kids. I feel good. But at the same time, it was like, I really liked having those washboard abs and things like that. So, but again, there's a reason and it's time to listen. And when your body tells you something, you've got to honor that or because it's funny. I used to tell my kids when they were potty training, always listen to your body because your body's going to win, right? If you try to hold it too long, it's coming out, right? So same thing with all this other stuff. You've got to listen. I love general practitioners are talking root causes of issues and pain and involving all the disciplines into the management of chronic issues. Yes. Right. I love that. And again, just getting back to that, just those ways of moving yourself to honor and feel good and feel pleasure in your body. And it might be a really different concept for a lot of people because so many people are used to the no pain, no gain. I go to the gym and I bounce around or I lift the weights or and we don't connect. So as I mentioned, this is going to be the theme over the next couple weeks. And it's actually going to be part of what we do in the Crave Call this month. We're going to connect to our intuitive movement and experience some of that. And we're going to use that for a purpose. So it's going to be really cool to bring it all together and do it to, not only connect, but then to also get you into the mindset to maybe start achieving some goals. So, yes, that is the plan. I'm also going to be talking next week a little bit more about the energy centers and just getting more into different ways to connect to your body. And I've got some posts coming out this week, little blurbs talking about some of that. So I hope that you enjoy that. I hope that this was helpful for you. I would love to hear your experiences, what you're feeling, what, Have you ever been, oops, sorry, I got a alarm going off. There we go. Have you ever been advised to do something in your body that didn't feel in alignment? And that could be in an exercise setting, that could be in a personal setting, right? So the more we honor our body, the more we'll speak up in other situations. So, I mean, this could get into a lot of layers, my loves, a lot of layers. So, very important. Like I said, it is just the foundation. All right. So I am wishing you so much love. I hope you have an amazing first week of the year. I'm just so excited. I think, we've been planting seeds and they're coming. And, I know there's a lot of negativity out there. Oh, 2022, blah, blah, blah. No, it hasn't even happened yet. Like, just walk in faith. I am positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself for my best interest right now. And the more you believe that, and the more you expect that, and the more you walk that talk, the more it happens. So don't let the naysayers get you down, my loves. All right. Yes, Dot, absolutely. Or the less you speak and stand up for yourself. Absolutely. Right? Because that builds. The throat's up here. We start down here with the foundation, the body. So that's all part of the right. So if that body, that foundation we're starting with is shaky, all the way up, it's shaky, right? So that's why we're going to start here this month. I hope that this is helpful. Yeah, like I said, leave me messages if they're personal. You want to message me, or I'm sorry, leave comments. And if it's personal, you want to message me, I always answer those and take those. I love hearing from you. And thank you so much for the people who reach out with such beautiful messages. I really love them. And the comments and participating. You are so much why I'm doing this. You're why I'm here. I feel called to be with you. And I'm so happy that we get to vibe off of each other. So have an amazing week. I will see you Wednesday with some clarity with Kalua. And like I said, I got a tea to help you get out of that holiday haze. So I'll see you then. Mwah. Have a great one. Bye, my loves.